Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're talking about food, all right? Fast food. Do you know how sometimes people are very aggressive in their food choices? Let me explain. I'm sure you guys have seen this too. So I was at Panda Express, guilty pleasure. I know, I like Panda Express, okay? It's not authentic, don't care, it's delicious, okay? So I'm going to get some American Chinese food. And people argue Japanese food is mixed in there too. And so I'm in line. The people in front of me, there are 3 of them. And there is a certain individual who orders, you know, you can get the greens instead of like the noodles or the rice, okay? And so she's like, oh, I want the greens. And then the steamed greens, okay? So they put the broccoli in a plate, right? She's like, a plate to go. So they put it in there. And then the next thing out of her mouth, is there MSG in any of your food? And the people she's with point her to the sign that says no MSG in any of our food. She's like, oh, okay. How much sodium is in your food? And they're just like, oh, it's all on the website. You can go look at all the nutritional information. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, look how processed this food is. And they're just like, yeah, it's Panda Express. Yeah, you know. And so she proceeds to like say, and then they're like, what would you like with your steamed greens? And she's like, oh, I don't want that. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then she proceeds to go down and, you know, I couldn't, she was getting out of earshot and I couldn't hear everything she was saying, but I was just like, oh, and she never ended up ordering anything. And then at the end, they're like, oh, so you just want your greens? And she's like, oh, those aren't for me, those are for him. And then so they come and she's like, and they're like, are you done? She's like, yes. And so they come all the way back to the beginning and they're like, all right, what would you like with your greens? And the 2 that were with her were like, no, we don't want that. It's like she ordered something for them and then did it. Yeah, so aggressive. That happens. So that level of aggressiveness, we laugh at that and we're like, what's going on? But people still do that, okay, with their arrogance in golf. Look at my swing, okay? I'm not here bragging about how good a golfer I am. I'm a terrible golfer, okay? I'm pretty open about that. You can watch the videos. But back when this came out, there were people who were like, even through like the 2000s, people were still like, oh, if you're bad at golf. The LFF Jumbo was for people who were bad at golf, who couldn't swing a golf club consistently and they needed that extra help. And then through the 2000s, people were saying that about the 460cc clubs. Oh, the pros don't play those big, ugly things because they're too good for it. They're too good. Okay, good. Good for you. I'm glad you feel that way. But are you that good? Well, yeah, I'm a scratch golfer, but you could be better if you played a more forgiving head. No. Why would I do that? It's funny how things change now, okay, 20 years later. No, I remember people talking about this club as, oh, it's if you need help. If your golf swing is bad, then and you want to play a Persimmon, then you would buy this monstrosity. It's just too big. The pros weren't playing that. And they may have a point about the pros not playing it. It is kind of a heavy head. But now, this is very desirable. If you get a good version, this is not a nice, you'll see in the close-up. These can be thousands of dollars, over $1,000. I've seen them sell for over $1,000. It's kind of pulled back a little bit from the highs, I feel like, but very desirable club. Why is that? Why is this so desirable? We need to get this on the review table and talk about some identifying features and have a closer look. Real quick, I want to compare. Here's the M85 versus the M09, okay? Both of these 1954 with the white Iomatic face insert, okay? So the big difference here is obviously going to be the stamping here, okay? So this is M09 Jumbo LFF, not sure if all that's showing up right there, where the toe sole stamp on the M85 will be M85, in this case TW for the grip, okay? So pretty easy to recognize, but another way you can tell is the face. So the face on the Jumbo is going to be one end, it's about 7/8 plus or minus, you know, a few 16ths here and there, okay? And with refinished clubs, you know, there's, you know, little variances there, 0.5 millimeter here and there. So you can see clearly a difference, but let's just measure here for good measure. Oh dear. All right, so here we have fractional inches, okay? So here's the M09. You can see, you know, you're pulling all the way out here to about 1 7/8. Is that showing up? I think that's showing up. And then put that aside here for 1 second, and then we pull out the M85. Now they did make a deep face M85, and you can see here, obviously, you know, very different in size, okay, on face height there. At least something you can notice visually. So I just want to kind of show the comparison as to why it's called the deep face or the jumbo. And this one in particular has been refinished, and they did an atrocious job, all right? So this is not a collectible, okay? So you can see the TIE Fighter style MacGregor IO-matic with the wood number here, 1, tourney. It has the 5-screw sole plate, very much like the 50s. It is pinned. This one, like I said, has been reshafted, so that's been pinned and filled, if not just filled. Sometimes they don't pin these, you know, refinished ones. You can see across the skirt the weight in the aft portion here. Nothing on the toe, but a big chunky toe. IO-matic face. The 80s versions had the 131 groove pattern. This has the 141, very much 1954-esque. And if you look here, you'll notice that this is epoxy filled, which just bothers me. There are other ways, anyway. So this is just a Franken club. The crown, you can see here, the lovely MacGregor winged logo right here, MT, MacGregor tourney. This is, like I said, refinished, so it's going to have this more blonde appearance to it. Whipping has been redone, and this is a modern shaft. This has been reshafted with a True Temper modern shaft. So it's been reshafted, stepped shaft, no shaft label. I put this on here to remind me of the year 1954, and I wrapped this old, they put this old Victory grip on it, which is, my understanding, not period. So it was, you know, there's no point in showing you a brown Golf Pride made in the USA Victory grip. That's not original. So what we have here is a refinished, reshafted Franken club with face damage that isn't worth anything, which means I can take this out onto the range and hit it and show you, bring you guys along. Thank you, Franken clubs. This is a terrible club. If you're a collector, people cringe at stuff like this, all right? You don't want to see this kind of refinishing and reshafting. It's all very, for a club of this caliber. Sometimes, in my opinion, it's better just to leave it, even with the wood damage and the chips, just leave it original and keep it like that if you're interested in collecting. But we're not here. So not only are you going to see some range footage, I also took this and hit it on the simulator, and got some numbers. Stay tuned to the end of the video where you can watch that footage. We have the MacGregor LFF M09 jumbo driver here. So I can tell you right now, just looking down at this before we even get back here, when I look down at clubs, I'm like, I always ask that, like, there's that, like, does this what it look like new? And the answer is no. This has been refinished. It looks like a refinished club to me. The blonde wood, excuse me, my allergies are kicking in. I took allergy meds, but still. You know, blonde wood, new shaft, wrapped grip. So I can't complain about the dynamics of it, but looking at it, my biggest concern is that face insert, because this IO-matic face insert, usually I can see some of it. But this one, I can't see much, which means it's pretty low lofted, which means it's up to me to control it and generate enough speed to use this. So that's my concern at the moment. But let's tee it up and see how we do. All right. So there's kind of a hill here. I want you to be able to see everything going on. So let's tee up right here. I want about half the ball above the crown here. That's probably good. The wind's into, maybe a little off to the left. Either way, we're hitting into the wind. Imagine, you know, you put yourself in the shoes of somebody from 1954. It's like, what club would you rather tee off with on the first hole? Can you imagine the spring in 1954? First, yeah, this is what I would choose. Absolutely. Absolutely stunning. Real quick, before I hit, the footprint isn't massive, and without anything to compare it to, it doesn't look that squished to me. And the deep face, I can't even see.
I can't even tell because of that loft. So that said, I'm just going to hit this like a modern driver. What could possibly go wrong? Oh my goodness, do you see the wind pick that right up with the backspin on that? Holy smokes. That carried over 200, maybe 210, maybe a little over 210. I'm not going to send it, it into orbit here into the wind, but oh my goodness. So that was right out of the screws and it felt amazing. I can tell you, this is one of my favorite things about Persimmons. They don't sound hollow like modern drivers, and it didn't sound dead. Like it wasn't just like a dead thud. It was like a loud clack, like it's alive, you know what I mean? That's what I love about these. Wind's picking up a little bit. And my allergies are really grateful right now. Really grateful for this wind. My eyes are not watering at all. All right, well, it's only downhill from here. All right, so normally with my drives, I go for a little fade. I'm gonna try that now. A little fade with this little loft, and with all the weight, probably pretty far forward, I could really slice the heck out of this thing. But hey, buckle up everybody for some wild entertainment. We're living on the edge here. Okay, we're looking for a little fade. Come on, fade a little bit more. Fade a little bit more. All right, that was just a pulley one, left side of the fairway. Here's where that would have ended up. I'm gonna try that again. But yeah, one reason why I like the idea of a fade with this particular individual is because of that low loft. So let's get one more tracer here for you. I'm gonna go a little bit more fadey, risk that slice. There we go. Yeah, that was a little bit much. Oh, the wind's gonna help out too, so. Lovely. My goodness, I'm so in love. Why are you so expensive, M09? You're one of the best drivers. I'm gonna say it. This is the best driver I've hit from the 1950s, even though it's a Franken Club. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
So this was a little intimidating, but those few good shots I do hit, and when you watch at the end where I hit on the simulator, I have like 2 good shots, not great shots, just 2 okay shots and 2 not so great shots. How forgiving is it? Well, you can see if you stay tuned to the end of the video. But this, to me, is going to Panda Express and saying, hey, give me some of that chow mein, give me some of that orange chicken, and give me some, whatever else you like to, the kung pao chicken, whatever you like, okay? And just ordering some delicious food and just being like, this is my treat for the month. I'm just gonna let go and I'm gonna have fun and enjoy life, right? That's what this is. And I think that's why it captures the imagination of so many people now, especially in the collector's market. They were like, did Jack Nicklaus ever play this? No. Did Johnny Miller ever play this? No, they were playing other Persimmons that were also considered larger and forgiving. But I think this captures people, that imagination of like, yes, let's run wild, let's go crazy, let's push things to the extreme, which is what, let's face it, a lot of people want, okay? Like there's a show on, we were talking about it when I was playing pickleball today, where they were like, Naked and Afraid, okay? And they were talking about Naked and Afraid. What was the model? They had something like, I don't remember, but they were talking about it, and I was just like, see, that's the premise that people like, the extreme, naked and afraid. It's not well-clothed and comfortable, right? It's not like, hey, we visited this exotic place and we stayed in a 5-star hotel and we're having a delicious meal, catered to us, or here in the restaurant. And let's talk about how peaceful things are, That's not gonna make, Naked and Afraid. That's what this is. This is naked and refinished and reshafted and afraid. Does that make sense? I've lost everybody by now. Let me know your thoughts about the M09 Jumbo LFF. The 1954 is my favorite one. Okay, I was looking for one of these for a long time. That was, affordable, or it's not just like, oh, I don't want to hit it. 1954 is my favorite because of the black insert. Because I think it started in like 49, and then through 51, 50, so 50, 51, 52, it was just this like brick red, right? Instead of the black. And I really liked the black Iomatics. And so when I found a 1954 that was just a piece of junk, I was like, yes, I want this. So bringing it here to you so you can watch, so you don't have to hit yours. Just let it sit on your, I mean, if somebody says, what's it like to hit? Just point them to this video. And then it'll hang on the wall and retain its $2,000 value, whatever, I don't know. You know, so super, super happy with this. This one I'm planning on, but I have so many plans that just don't, you know, come to fruition this year. So sometime in the future, let's give it a time frame. Let's say in the next 10 years. I have no idea when. I'm going to try to get this in a bag and play this because I really genuinely want to love this club. And until I play it, I don't know if I'm really in love with it. I haven't had like tons of happy memories with it, but I'm starting, right? And it's exciting. So the M09, 1954, let me know if you like the brick red more than the black face, if you like the originals more than this. For sure, I think we can all agree, you know, unless you're really actively playing it, which I'm planning on doing with this one, we can all agree that keep these in original condition, because when these are pristine, or even if they're pretty beat up, but original, extremely, extremely desirable to me, at least. I'm so excited. All right. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. Another way you can support this channel is by visiting my Amazon shop. I have a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. That's how it helps this channel. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comments below about the 1954 or any version of the MacGregor M09 LFF Jumbo Persimmon driver. I am the Vintage Golfer.